element. I'm in my element. Don't care about relevance. I'm doing me. I'm in my element. We the new delegate. Tap in and see. I don't sit and worry about who's on. Back in my bag, this a new zone. Kettle on my wrist, it's a two-tone. Direct flight out to London. Then might slide out to Lisbon. Crossing borders, getting my stamps up. Travel light, everybody can't come. Lay low, I don't want attention. Only show what you see. Never no cap in my rap when I rap on the track.
All right. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening to you, wherever you are in this beautiful world. Welcome to our Inner Circle Live pre-New York session. I'm your host, Ryan Carthage. We'll be joined shortly by my awesome partner, Mr. Ben Allen. Hope everybody's doing well today on this beautiful Wednesday. As always, let's turn off all distractions, grab a pen and paper, let's take lots of notes, and let's make sure that we participate and engage. All right. And as always, we want to make sure that we start off our day by taking massive action. And that action stands for accepting all possible losses before entering a trade, preparing you for any outcome, centering yourself, body, mind, and spirit, ensuring a balanced approach to trading, trust in your education, strategy, trade skills, and intuition. Imagine your trade successfully materializing, obeying your trading strategy, avoiding decisions based on greed or fear, and never looking back or stopping once your trade has commenced. All right, so we got a little bit to get caught up on the happenings from yesterday. The dollar yen continues to rumble along, and then we'll dive into the charts. Join Benit says that you have an old version of Zoom, so you got to update that in order for me to unmute you. So just a note there for the two of you. Let's get to it. So last night, out of Australia, got the CPI data, monthly CPI data. It increased to by 4% in the year to May 2024, faster than the 3.6 in April and above the market forecast of 3.8. It was the highest level since November 2023, with prices accelerating both housing, notably electricity, and transportation, automotive and automotive fuels. Additionally, had upward pressure also came from food and alcoholic beverages, alcohol and tobacco, clothing and footwear. The monthly CPI indicator excluded volatile items and travel climbed to 4% also. So inflation remained outside of the RBA's target range of 2 to 3%. Increased, right? So what that says is that things are still sticky in Australia. Okay? Still sticky. So RBA has some decisions to make there regarding what they will do and how they will move forward. Okay. Then out of the UK, you had a retail sales gauge pulls back in June. Gotcha, no doubt. And then Brent crude rises despite increased U.S. stockpiles. They recouped losses from the previous session after industry data pointed to a surprise increase in U.S. stockpiles, which raised worries about softening demand in the world's top oil consumer. API data showed the U.S. crude inventories rose by 0.914 million barrels last week, defined the market expectation of a 3 million barrel draw. Official data from the EIA will follow later today, right? Investors remain cautious ahead of the CPI data coming out on Friday. could shed some light on the path of the Federal Reserve. Now, there are investors that are talking about 300 basis point cut by March of 2025. Interesting take, but that's something that is out there in the world. We'll see how it actually goes, but that is the talk from some investors is a 300 basis point cut. You do have some Fed officials also saying we do need to cut. We just don't know when, right? Which we know that part, right? So we'll continue to watch this narrative and see how it continues to play out and see how investors try to talk the market in one direction or the other as things move forward. So that's where we are there. Yeah, over to the calendar. Here's a CPI data from last night. Consumer confidence came in just a bit above expectation for the United States. CPI data for Canada came in above expectation. All right. All of it except for the common CPI year over year. So this will be an interesting take on the Canadian dollar as well. Seeing as we had Governor Macklem talking about additional cuts. Right. So we'll see how the Bank of Canada sees that data and other data that comes out later on to determine where they go from there. All right. You also have some Fed officials, right? We talked about the Fed officials talking about rate cuts. You also have some Fed officials still concerned about the upward risk of inflation, right? Which is a real thing as well. So got a lot to ponder and to think about as we move through the rest of this year. Today we got new home sales for the dollar. We have retail sales for the yen, inflation expectations for the Aussie, and business confidence for the New Zealand dollar. Let's hop over to the charts, and I want to look at this dollar yen first. As it continues to push up, then we'll slide back and look at the dollar. But dollar yen is approaching, right? We didn't get that pullback like we thought we might yesterday, but we're approaching 162.28, which is that previous high before the previous intervention, right? Back in April. So we're headed back to that high. Bank of Japan is still on guard regarding intervention. Their thing is impulsive moves in one direction or the other, right? And so starting to push in a relatively strong way to the upside. So we'll watch that and see how that goes and see if that intervention comes. You have a third of Bank of Japan watchers that are expecting a July interest rate increase along with that bond purchase plan decrease. So that is on the table as well, but that doesn't come until the end of July. Benny, good morning, bro.
Ryan, good morning, sir. How are you today?
I'm doing well, man. Yourself?
Oh man, doing great. Always glad to be here with the team.
Yes, sir. Awesome. Fundamentally, things top of mind for you, man?
Oh man, just continue to watch those yen moves, right? Just being patient with it. To see if they are going to step in and intervene as we approach as we're at 160 now, right?
Yeah, we're at 160,
Yeah.
132 right now.
Yeah, once they just waiting on that, and then of course that news coming out of Australia. So I'll be posting a blog on that here shortly. But that was, man, that's a decent uptick,
It
you
was.
know.
It
Yeah,
definitely was.
that's a decent uptick. So just that mainly continue to watch the CPI data as we are, supposed to be technically in an environment where we've got the possibility of more cuts coming from central banks, but the data seems to be putting up a pretty good fight. You know, in regards to inflationary pressure still being an issue. And in a lot of places, not all. Like we got the UK where it came, within target range at 2%. I think it's back to 2%.
Yeah.
Out of the UK, but it's still stubborn, man. It just lets you know how tough inflation is to fight. Look how long it's been, with all
Yeah.
the back and forth regarding inflation. So just continuing to watch the data. I mean, as we, like I say, technically, you do have more and more central banks leaning towards cutting rates, which is why a lot of people were wondering why we saw, you know, um, not too long ago, gold was moving to the upside. Of course, latest a little bit of a correction, but why it was going to the upside at the same time that the dollar was moving to the upside is because technically, we do have, more central banks leaning towards cuts. We have more banks that have cut rates. And the market's assuming the other banks will eventually follow. But like I said, this inflation data is stubborn, man.
It definitely is, man. It's going to be an interesting summer. Let's see how things finish out as some of your central banks have breaks in July.
Yeah,
It'll be interesting to see how things slide through the month.
yeah, because they're remaining data dependent, and a lot of the data is mixed right now.
Yeah, yeah. I also read an article about out of the ECB, you have one of the ECB officials talking about two more cuts in 2024 is reasonable.
Right.
Uh, so that'll be interesting to see how that transpires as well.
Yeah, because of coming out of the last meeting, you know, the forward guys was that they're going to be data dependent, and right now, uh, for the ECB, that recent data ever since the meeting, would lend you to believe that we'll definitely see two more rate cuts, based on the data so far since that last meeting occurred. So, definitely looking for a move like the Euro USD that we're sitting in, looking for a continued move to the downside based on the data that's come out as of late.
Yeah, yeah. So it's going to get interesting, good people. It is going to get interesting. But the beautiful thing about how we frame out the market is a lot of times, a lot of times we are sitting in the direction as those that fundamental data comes out. So um, that's where we are. Questions from a fundamental perspective. No? No? All right. Cool deal. Um, Reese asked about a video regarding setting up the fib and trading view. Benny, will we be able to work on a video showing how to set that up?
Sure, we could do that.
Okay, cool. So we'll work on that, Reese. Accountability group. You guys got any updates for us on recent conversations, things that are happening from the accountability group?
No, we're
No,
pretty,
no.
no, not really.
All
We
right.
have an agenda that we follow. So beginning next week, we're starting with candlestick Bible. So we just go 45 minutes and it's been going good so far.
Sweet. Sweet. Candlestick Bible.
Mhm.
That's where we are. Beautiful.
And a lot of us
Appreciate
has
it.
been starting our 100 days. I started mine yesterday,
Okay.
and by the first, everybody should be on target. That's been rocking for the 3 months with their 100 days.
Beautiful.
So yeah, thank you.
Beautiful. Love it. Appreciate the update there. All right.
If I can give a really quick update as well.
Yes,
Uh,
ma'am.
Donette she's incredibly encouraging and diligent in ensuring that we are thinking about our goals and the things that we want to accomplish that is not just trading related, but it's all related to life. But the other thing that I really love, the support is amazing. And whatever questions that we have, as just even newbie questions, the team is so awesome and amazing with just breaking things down. And every day I learn something new. It's like I'm a kid in a candy store. It's really very, very cool. So I would encourage, if you can make it, like Donette said, we have an agenda. It's 45 minutes. We're not just talking willy-nilly and just talking about any old thing. So it has been absolutely really very, at least for me, it's been life-changing and helping me stay on course. And yeah, so it's been great. So I would encourage people to come on in and attend and be open to some really good growth.
I love it. I love it. I love it. Draw some sevens for Donette and everybody in the accountability group for getting to it, man. Right? The action that's required. I love it. I love it. Great work, everybody. Love to see it. And we appreciate you guys for continuing to drive that forward. All right. So this is where you're on the dollar yen, right? Let's see if today we break this 160-228 level and continue driving north. All right, let's watch this and see where price goes. Okay. Yeah, that's the update there, moving north. So let's take a look at the DXY, which is also, right, we talked about that break, retest, and continue to drive to the upside. And there we go, right? So we're continuing to move long, matching extension, 106.386, right? So the dollars continue to move to the upside. So we'll take a look at some of these dollar pairs as well, as they are also tracking in favor of the dollar. So that's that's the DXY as we move along. All right. Look at Benny mentioned the euro dollar. And we've been watching this one for quite some time, right? We got this crown pattern here, looking for it to play out. And there's also been investors periodically talking about this euro dollar getting back to parity. So we'll watch and see if that occurs. Decent way to go to get there, right? But we're pressing down, right? We're headed back down. So this crown pattern looks like we could get it to play out. 104, 153 is the matching extension off of the 618 retracement on the right tip, right? So we're moving to the downside. We got fundamentally thoughts of more cuts in the euro, and we're waiting on CPI data to come out for PCE data for the United States, inflation gauge to see where the dollar ultimately stands. Over to the 4-hour, right? We had that 8-6 retracement, and we're tracking to the downside. Got all those smaller moves in there. Came how we wanted it to. And so now, right, we're moving to the downside. This level is no longer valid. We got support there. So we're headed down, right? Matching the extension on this 4-hour fib is 105. Okay. So if you took this trade out of the zone there, right, even if it was at a 618 level off that pullback, right, you're looking at 167 pips in profit currently, right? If you took it off that highest point, you're looking at 230 pips at the moment with quite a bit to go, right? So we are moving down on the euro dollar, and the fundamentals are in alignment with that, right? So as we come down to the 1, right? Even if you played this off the one, you did have a 50% retracement here. We didn't get back into that 618 retracement level, but we are headed south. Okay. So euro dollar down, looking for it to continue its move to the downside, getting us to matching the extensions as price goes along. On that 1 hour 105.594 is the matching extension there. Okay. So euro dollar headed down, moving in our favor. Hopefully some folks have been able to sit in that and allow it to do its thing. Any questions on the euro dollar?
Ryan, can you go back to the 4 and
Yeah.
and what is I'm waiting for my fib. The matching the fib, the extension on that?
Oh, I'm sorry, 786. I did say 86. I apologize.
Okay.
786 retracement here. Yep.
Okay, cool. Thank
Thank
you.
you for catching that.
Okay.
786 retracement. So the matching extension is a 127. Yep. Good catch. Appreciate it. No questions on the euro dollar. All right. Pound dollar. Down. We're actually getting ready to break the cloud, potentially break the cloud on the one. We come here to the daily. I've had this crown pattern sitting here for a while. I think somebody brought it up. I'm looking to see if we get price to turn over and continue moving to the downside. Right. We got daily support here at 126, 174. Ultimately looking for price to at least get back to the 382 at 118.011. Right. So got a ways to go there, but if fundamentals all continue to align, right? Potential cuts coming out of the UK as they got inflation back to that 2% target. We'll see how those elections play a part, but we could see this continue to make its move to the downside, right? So we'll watch this and see how that develops overall. But overall, we're headed down. Okay. On the 4, we got a little back and forth here, right? This is our capital fib. On the 4, right? And we've just been kind of in this extended range, right? We got a 786 retracement here. We're looking to see if price would continue to rumble along and get to the matching D extension of the 127. But the way fundamentals are lining up, we may not see that, right? We may not see that. So we could see price start to make its way back to the downside as long as the US data also aligns. Okay. So we'll watch and see how price continues to move here. This needs to be adjusted down right there. Boom. I'm actually gonna clean this up a little bit. Boom. And look at these levels, make sure that they're accurate. There we go. That's better. All right. So if we're able to break 126.209, right, then we could have further way to go to 124. That'll be the next level. All right. So that's where we are on the 4, then down to the 1. Right. And this is the move. Right. Previous fib, we had an 80-20 pullback, 618 retracement, C to D move. Beautiful. Here we didn't quite push into the 118 and 127 zone, but we got the retracement. Now we're in that C to D push, right? We're in that down push zone. 618 retracement, matching the extension, 125, 629, right? So if we're able to close bearish below the cloud, and if we're able to get that twist, we already got the TK crossover. We got lagging stand that broke through price. Twist and the bearish close. All we need for that additional confirmation on the cloud break. And then we could be off to the races for a little bit on this 1 hour time frame. At least back to the support level, but if we're able to break that and continue down to the D extension, that'd be awesome. All right. So there's your additional confirmation on the 1 hour as well. If that is what you use for the move. All right. Questions on the pound dollar? Nope. All right. All right, cool deal. Now this Aussie dollar. This one is interesting because you had that data come out last night for the Aussie. But overall, right, we're still trapped here. Even with that data, we're still trapped there. Right? And pull this out. Still trapped right there in that 618 retracement zone on the capital fib. Right. Overall, we did get an 8-6 push. Now we want to see where price goes. Pushing up into the sell zone on the stochastic. Right. Are we able to at some point break out in one direction or the other? That's what we're waiting on here, right? My bias has been short on this, but we'll see how things go fundamentally and see if that aligns. Okay. Down on the 4, right? You see that push back to the upside yesterday, and you see we're turning back over and pressing back down. We could still move a little bit higher on this, right? We could definitely come back and test that 165 level at some point, right? So looking for this move here to finish out to the upside. Okay. Let's see what this looks like on the one. There we are on the one, right? Just missed the matching D extension there off this retracement. So we'll look on the lower time frame because this was probably an 80-20, and you're getting that retracement right now. And then we'll look for a low price to potentially get back long and push us to 67,135. Potentially, right? Strong bullish action, taking back portion of that move. Then we'll see if we get a CDD push there. Right? So not a ton doing for me right now. Folks that trade this on the 15, come down here, right? And you look at this last move to the upside. Let's see. Yeah, that's what I thought. Okay. This probably got taken out. Oh, there you go. So that's the same on the 1 hour. But you got a smaller wave coming in here on that last impulsive move long right there. Right. There's your 80-20 there. You're getting your retracement. Right now, look for a low price in the 618-786 zone and see if we're able to get back long here and get to that matching D extension and retest that 67,135. Okay. So that's where we are on the Aussie dollar. Any questions? Nope, nope, nope. All right. Cool deal. I want to finish looking at these yens as well. I don't think we looked at the Swiss yen yesterday. This one could get interesting, guys. If we don't get an intervention soon, we could get to 182. I'm surprised by this as well. I definitely thought we'd see a retracement by now, with the state of the Swissy and all of that. But still stands true that until the Bank of Japan actually makes a decision, price is going to continue to run. Right? So 182 on the monthly time frame is in sight. And all of this is all-time high. So we're continuing to make new highs as price continues to roll along. So this is uncharted territory for the Swiss yen, right? But 182 is definitely a strong possibility. Definitely a strong possibility. So we're going to watch this level and we'll see if we get some confluence on our way down. On the weekly time frame, right? We've already hit the weekly D extension and we're continuing to run long, right? No swing high just yet. You see, we got a little bit of indecision right now. We will see what that transitions into, but overall, it's still just rumbling to the upside. So there's your monthly D extension. Let's measure that actually. 300 pips away, 370 pips away. So decent distance, but really not too far. So we come down to the daily time frame, stochastic pushing out of the sell zone. And you'll see that that monthly D extension is in line with the 118, 127 zone on the daily. All right. So what we could see as the stochastic pushes down into the buy zone, right, is maybe we see another push into the zone here, right, and get us to that weekly D extension. We already hit, I mean, that monthly D extension, we already hit the weekly D extension, and then we push into the 118, 127 zone on the daily, right? So maybe we see that push to the upside come there. Okay, so don't be surprised if you see that. Down on the 4, it's just going, right? So that 182 is just inside the 4-hour D extension. So maybe we extend a little further, clear all of these, and we just push into the zone altogether. All right. So some confluence as far as this upside pressure goes. Yeah, confluence on the upside pressure, right? So we'll continue to watch this and see if we're able to get into the zone here and get full reset across the board. Okay. Down on a 1, pressure AB boundary as well. Matching the extension is just inside of that 182 level. Right. So we definitely could head there. We definitely could head there. Don't be surprised if we get another strong push to the upside. Okay. So watching that from that perspective, that one I'm just watching right now. Okay. Questions on the Swiss yen? Yeah, Joy. Facts. All right, cool. Euro yen. This is another one, right? From a monthly perspective, we could push here. Don't have a swing high yet there on the monthly, so this is our previous resistance level coming from there. We've broken that, still pressing long, even with the shifts in the euro. Okay, that just tells you how weak the yen is altogether. So 175, 574 could also be in sight, right? Where that number comes from is a weekly D extension. Okay, so we could be in for another move to the upside there. Daily, we know we got an 80-20 here, but if we continue to break these highs, we got daily resistance here. If we break out of this level and push long, we'll get to that D extension and we'll get to that 175 level. Okay. But this is still an 80-20 on the daily time frame. So we'll continue to watch the data and see how things move. See if we do get a strong enough retracement now, or does that come later? So this level is key for me, right? If we break that level, I'm sitting and watching and waiting on 175. Okay. On your 4 and just rumbling along. Just sliding along. Just missed that 382 level there. But that 118 and 127 zone is also in line with that 175, 574. So we'll see what happens if it's a double top or do we push through? Okay, so keep that level in mind. And then on the one, the extension achieved. Looking for a fresh AB boundary to pop in here. Okay. Waiting on a new AB boundary to pop in here, but that would look like this. So I'm surprised it hasn't popped in yet. But there you go. So not a ton on the euro yen right now, but looking to see what happens at this 171 level. Okay. Questions here?
Nope.
Nope. All right, cool deal. Let's look at it, Ann. And let's look at Apple. I haven't done a full analysis on Apple in a very long time. So let's see. All right, and see when that was. So let's see what's up. Let's clear all this. Okay. Crazy price action. So on stocks, I don't, be it trading, just trading options, futures, what have you, still do a top-down analysis. And this is just my preference and how I look at things. On these, I generally look at the lower time. Well, I do my top-down analysis and then I look at 30-minute and 15-minute and looking for entries off the 15-minute time frame. Now you see here, right? ABCD waves just playing out to the other side. You got breaks and a retest. Push up, pull back, retest. Break the high, pull back, retest, and we're pushing to another high. So that's on the monthly. No resistance there. Weekly, still don't have a new resistance level there yet. But right, you see the breaks and the retest really, really clean there on the weekly time frame. Okay, so nothing new there. We got those levels set to the daily. Here we go. So we got support here. Interesting, but support there. Let me double check that. Yeah. And another level there. Okay. Then we got resistance on the top. Level there. 1, 2, 2. We'll keep that. Those two levels there would have been close. So we'll just keep that 220, 14 level there. So we got our support and resistance all the way down to the daily time frame. Let's look at what the 4-hour looks like. We'll drop this level of support here on the 4 as well. Boom. There you go. Okay. And you're trapped in this range here. Okay. So that's where we are. from support resistance perspective. Now, let's see, we are from a daily time frame on the fib, just to again get that overall view, and then we'll break that down. Okay. Let's see what we can get in here. Oops. I want to get a true sense of this move, so I'm coming back to these smaller waves just to see if I can catch more of the action here. This is what we'll do. Ba, 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 ba. We'll run these. Boom. No fib available. That's interesting. Maybe we won't. Let's see. All right. Well, here we go. Yeah. There's that active fib there. All right. Oh, those got taken out. Let's see. That has a different move there. Smart fib does. Let's see. There we go. That's what they're giving. Smart analytics. So there's an AB boundary there on the daily. Let's go down to the 4. And there's your AB boundary there. All right, so in this up retracement zone, sitting at a 382 on the 4. Now down to the 1. Here you got an 80-20 on the 1. Shallow retracement 118, 127 zone. We're trying to break down, but we're trapped in that range here. So let's see if we can break. Interesting. Okay, and we won't be able to pull you into the leaderboard. Not sure why the code didn't work. It's valid. So but that's fine. But cool. Glad you're able to get it. So we're pressing down here, right? See if we're able to break the support at 206.59, right? The other day we had some sell-off in the tech sector, right? And see if we continue to get that and we get this nice push to the downside here. Okay. 192.24. Next level of daily support, right? But 80-20 on the 1 hour, right? Looking for that retracement to continue to the downside here. Might take its time, but you got stochastic in the sell zone, right? So we'll see if we continue to get that move to the downside here. All right, so there's your 80-20 on the 1. And then Ann says she saw an 80-20 on the day, on the 15. Right there. So similar to that 1 hour fib, right? Starting to press out of that 118, 127 zone. 80-20 opportunity to the downside there. Great call on that, Ann. So anybody looking to trade some stocks, an opportunity to get short here right? And look at price coming down to 192 potentially, 192.24. Questions on Apple? No. Cool deal. Well, there you go, options traders. You saw a buy on this? Where was the buy opportunity? I see. Just manage that properly, right? You're already pushing to the 118 and 127 zone. If you enter there, cool, right? You're stuck in a range here. Your capital fib is in the up retracement zone. Just be cautious there. Right. We'll see what happens fundamentally. But I see what you're looking at, right? That push there. Maybe you do get a high price here, and then an opportunity to get short, right? Just be cautious there, right? And manage your trade accordingly. Okay. Good work. Good work. Good work. All right. No questions on Apple. Since we're here, let's look at the S&P 500. The extension achieved. The extension achieved. So looking for a reset here, right? This new fib on the daily time frame would be like that. Stochastic pushing into the buy zone. Ooh. And we see more upward pressure here. Let's see how that goes. Down on our 4. The extension achieved on the 4 as well. That's the lowest point. This is definitely going to be interesting to see what happens here, right? But the S&P continues to rumble along. Maybe we push into the 118 and 127 zone here before Friday, right? And then we'll see what that CPI data has to say. We're pushing into the sell zone with stochastic right now. So let's watch this and see what happens. See if we get a push to the upside here. Those investors talking about 3 interest rate cuts. I mean, a 300 basis point cut by March. So we'll see. We'll see how that turns out. Yeah, let's see if we get that type of action there. On the 1. There it goes. Still the same scenario, right? D extension achieved on the previous fib. This is our AB boundary. Actually be there. Just a bit lower. But there we go. Okay, so let's watch and see what happens on this S&P 500. I'll be looking at this one off the 4. Looking at that action there. Okay, questions on the S&P? Head and shoulders on gold. On the daily, let's see. You're talking about right here? Need to push back to the upside there. Yeah. Okay. Let's see. See if it plays out. All right. You got a shallow shoulder there if it continues to push to the downside. Let's see. Good eye on that, Joy. Go to the downside would make sense if the dollar continues to be strong, right? Dollar pushing long. See this continue that move to the downside. I like that. I like that. Boom. All right, let's look at the 4. See what else we got technically here. Actually, we'll come to this level. All right, so pressing to the downside, we got that 50% retracement here. See what happens at the support level 2276. 2276. Little lopsided, but let's see what happens. See if we get that to finish out to the downside there. Okay. That's gold. Yeah, drop some sevens in the chat for Joy and right. Good eyes on both of those. Beautiful. Right. You guys got any other pairs that you guys want to take a look at? US 30. Beautiful 80-20 scenario there. Still lingering in this 118, 127 zone. Still range bound right there, right? So 80-20 off the daily still intact. Shift that resistance there. Not quite there yet. All right, let's see what happens. Let's see what happens. There's 80-20 on the daily. Come down to the 4. Run that fib off the low here. Hope that got taken out. Let's see. All right. Maybe we finish this 4-hour fib out and get back to the highs here. Double top situation. Watch them see that there. All right. So we got some back and forth on daily in the 4-hour. Let's come down to the 1. 80-20 on the 1. Ooh. It's going to be interesting here. See what happens, right? It's headed down now. Maybe we do continue to the downside, get a low price. Stochastic pushing out of the sell zone. Beautiful 80-20 scenario there. Beautiful move. Danette, are you playing this to the downside here?
I looked at it last night and I was thinking, I should have taken it, but it moved a lot.
Yeah, it was a nice move to the downside. Yeah. 52 pips. Yeah.
Yeah, it's that.
I
But
love
I
it.
did mark it up last night and I was like, maybe in the morning, but it moved a lot overnight.
So what stopped you from pulling the trigger?
I just looked at it and I was like, well, it at the time it didn't quite break a level, a low. It
Hmm.
didn't break that low. So I was gonna wait on
So
it.
you're looking at it here.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Gotcha. Okay. All right. I dig it. That's US 30, everybody. 80-20 playing out to the downside. Okay. Aussie, New Zealand. Yes. We got pushed to the upside. Yesterday, we didn't get that retracement that we were looking for. So, daily time frame, this is where we are. Pressing back long. I don't have that manually drawn in. Oh, had to correct that one. Okay. So there we are, right? That's our capital fib there. We got a 8-6 retracement. We're pushing to the upside. Took that level out, right? Weekly resistance here. Boom. We got stochastic in the sell zone. So do we come back down? Do we turn over and come back down? That'll be interesting to see. Down to the 4. That D extension got hit. Reversal there. So we're looking for a reversal here yesterday. Didn't quite get it, but we got to push into the 118 and 127 zone now. All right, so 80-20 on the 4 on the Aussie New Zealand. See what happens here. See if we get price to move back down and give us a low price. Yeah. I like that. I like that. See what the 1 hour looks like. One to one back to that 382. Okay. Good eye on that. And let's see, down to the 1. Fresh AB boundary here. Right. Just ran off to the upside with that data from last night. Right. So that 80-20 didn't play out for us. Push there, resistance. Now we're starting to get a retracement. I dig it. So maybe, right? Let's look at this off the 4. 80-20 on the 4. Questions on the Aussie, New Zealand? No?
Nope.
All right, cool deal. I'll take a quick peek at nat gas. I don't have it marked up. I got a hard stop. So we'll take a quick look just to see the direction, and then we'll get it covered later. Overall, being kind of range bound, bottom of the range, push up. Stochastic in the buy zone. That's fine. All right. Boom. Let's see what happens here. Pulling back now. I continue that push to the upside there. Yeah, we might be looking at a continuation to the upside here. All right, overall long, stochastic in the buy zone. Might be looking at a long play there. I know that's jumbled up, but just looking at it from a fib perspective, not supporting resistance, right? You got capital fibs there. 618 retracement, came back to it. Impulsive move, pullback. Yeah. This one might be ready to head long. Might be ready to head long there. All right, and looking at it off this here. Stochastic in the buy zone. CDD move right there. That's not a full analysis, but just initial thoughts, just using the fib to see where things are. Benny, anything before we wrap it up, bro?
No, sir. Great session, man. I know you got a hard stop, so appreciate everything that you do for us, man, in the group.
No doubt, man. Appreciate you. Good people. Good people. Continue to be patient. Find the trades that fit your rules. Continue to find your 1%. All right. Have a phenomenal Wednesday. We'll be back at it tomorrow morning, 6:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time for the pre-New York session. Have a phenomenal day. Check out the 15-minute a pound dollar. We just got an 80-20 buy on the 15. Have a phenomenal day. Peace.
Thanks, Ryan.
You're welcome.